Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a quick look at the Kaibo Audio Flex. It's also called the Sport1, and it's a pair of wireless Bluetooth headphones that has bone conduction, which can work well if you're in construction, for example, or if you're just wanting to be more aware of your surroundings if you're outdoors while still listening to music. What's kind of unique about this particular pair of headphones, even though we've seen other bone conduction headsets in the past, is it comes included with this charging dock that also has a built-in battery of its own. The concept is very similar to TWS wireless buds, where the case can provide some extra charge to the headphones when on the go. More specifically, it will get you up to 4 additional charges when on the go, uses the latest Bluetooth 5.0 IP55 for water resistance. You can actually turn on the left and right sides independently, which means you're able to listen to music, let's say if you wanted to, only on one side. So you can use it in either mono mode or in the stereo mode. So very interesting. It's almost like this headband is just for decoration then, or a better ergonomic fit, but really you can think of these as TWS buds. Anyways, here is the packaging. This company, by the way, they do specialize in bone conduction headsets, 14 millimeters open, and the continuous playback time for the headset is 8 hours. Combined with the extra charging dock, you get 32 hours when on the road. It's actually quite good considering bone conduction headphones will consume more power than regular drivers. So in the box, aside from a quick user guide, we have a carrying pouch, just a USB Type-C charging cable, and then that's it. It also comes in a red edition, and we do have the ability to change the volume up and down just by pressing on the left and right sides, as well as Play&Pause, and there is even the smart wearing detection, which means that these can automatically play and automatically pause the music when you pop them on and also when you remove them. So taking a closer look at the design, it is quite interesting because everything is open, very easy to attach using magnets. It just pops on in there and begins to charge. There's LED lights that tells you approximately how much juice is left in the charging dock, and there's just a Type-C port which you can use to also charge it while plugged in. A pretty simple overall design, but also held into place magnetically, so everything is attached quite well. Now when we pop them out, you can see that it just looks like this. These are primarily made out of rubber and soft touch plastic, so it remains pretty lightweight but doesn't feel too cheap either. On the side here, what looks like a dimple is the touch sensitive area that you can tap on to control things, including power, again volume, skipping tracks, and there's also an LED status light that will pop on there to tell you if it's pairing or if it's connected. Quite simple, so everything is relying on these touch keys along with some just simple microphones and then just some contacts there for power. This little oval section, by the way, is where the battery is located, but the actual bone conduction component is just coming out from this side, which is also coated in a rubber-like material that sits in between the ear and temple area, and otherwise it will just start to kind of vibrate and you'll be able to hear sound once it begins to play. One thing I will mention though before we talk about the performance and the audio quality is, unlike some of the other bone conduction headsets, as well as kind of Walkman styled headsets like this in the past, this model does not come with any built-in memory. So it doesn't work as a dedicated MP3 player. It is truly a pair of wireless headphones. You have to be playing back music from a phone. So I do think that maybe in the future they can consider a model that has, let's say, 1 or 8 gigs of built-in storage, and you can also load some music onto it offline. Moving into the audio quality and performance, I will say that out of the bone conduction headphones I've tried so far, this is definitely one of the best performing models in terms of just packing in a bit more depth and clarity than I've found in previous models, especially when it comes to bass and lower end frequencies. I found that previous gen models have been a bit lacking. Since they're open, it's really hard to achieve as much depth to the sound, and it sounds just a little more shallow, not quite as hi-fi grade, not quite as immersive, but this is definitely getting a lot better. So surprisingly, I've really enjoyed the sound that these have delivered thus far. Now if we put it onto something like a tabletop, you can hear the music a bit more clearly, because it will be able to kind of vibrate and pass on that sound. You can hear that's basically what the sound quality is like, which is actually quite good. And they do have quite a bit of a kick to them in the sense that, unlike conventional headphones, these drivers really do pop because it has to vibrate. So when you are hitting like a drum beat, it really gives you that physical sensation of something being thumped around, which is actually quite enjoyable. Slight con, I would say, is the notion of bone conduction I think is still a little controversial because I would still say these are more open design headphones rather than true bone conduction. I say that because, as you kind of heard there, when we put it close to the microphone, and also when you're just holding it close to your ear in general, you can still partially hear a little bit of the sound. So technically how this current generation of tech works is it still is kind of using a driver that will essentially play back sound, and that's why you're able to kind of hear it. If someone is close to you, they will also be able to detect and hear what's going on. So you won't get as much security in that sense as something that is going to be a tighter seal. On here, nothing is even covering your ears to begin with. So obviously you can hear, let's say, if a car is approaching you on the streets or whatnot, someone can talk to you and you can still have that conversation while the music is passing through. Now, by the way, if we twist it a bit, you can see that little light here that sometimes shines. That is the infrared sensor for detecting if you're wearing these or not. And like I said, that it is a function that has worked pretty well in my testing. So that's more or less it as far as our quick hands-on look at the Kaibo Audio Sport1. Overall, this is not going to be for everyone, that's for sure, since if you want isolation, if you want a really tight fit, and active noise cancellation, this is almost the antithesis of that. But if you're someone that's constantly outdoors and you just want to almost hear what's going on and just be more aware of those surroundings, something that is going to be a bit more locked in as well as part of its design without falling loose, this is actually going to be one of the better pairs of bone conduction style headphones I think I've tried thus far, primarily also with the good sound coupled with this pretty clever extra charging dock. So you can check out more details if you're interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.